Hi everybody, I'm Tim Newton from the Krannert School, joined today by Nick Rago. Nick is Senior Digital Producer with Fox Sports in Los Angeles, having been at ESPN before that, but you're a Purdue alum.
I am, 2014.
How does somebody become a Purdue alum and then a digital producer at Fox Sports?
Totally normal. Started in engineering with the hopes of going into biomedical, and then that did not work out. It wasn't what I expected. I switched into Krannert. The connections that I made at Purdue allowed me to meet some people at ESPN just kind of on a chance. And I am a firm believer that everybody has one or two big opportunities to really make a name for themselves. And I was fortunate enough to recognize that and take hold, and I interned at ESPN after that, and I started full-time 2 weeks after I graduated in June 2014.
You talk about being in the right place at the right time. It sounded like there was something that happened to you at Purdue that really changed your trajectory.
Yeah, so my friend's roommate, who I knew decently well, was the ESPNU campus connection. So she basically helped, she was a liaison to ESPN when they came to do Purdue sporting events. And she got called down to Indy in 2012, January, to do the Super Bowl, to be a runner. So get coffee, lunches, anything anybody needed. And they asked her, like, hey, do you know anybody? We need another person, we're short. And she's like, oh, I know a guy who likes sports. I'll text him. So I got that text. It's the text that changed my life. I took a week off of classes, don't tell anybody, and I went down and I got to work with Sports Nation, and it was an opportunity that I had never even dreamed would be possible. And then I impressed some of the producers there. A year and a half later, I got denied 2 sales internships at ESPN. They didn't call me back, and then I kind of applied for this social integration without knowing what it was. And one of those producers had since moved over to social integration, is now running the group, and the rest is history, I guess.
So you were at ESPN for a while, moved your way up the ladder there.
Yes.
But you're originally from the West Coast.
Yes, so dual citizenship between Chicago and San Francisco. I'm a Chicago sports fan. But yeah, I was, everybody asked me, like, why, if you're from San Francisco, like, what are you doing here? So I answered that question for 4 years. But yeah, I came on campus, I fell in love with it. It was, it was everything I wanted. It was a big school with sports, a great school with good engineering, and it ended up being great in business too. I lucked out there a little bit. But yeah, I fell in love with Purdue from the first day on campus, and it's been great ever since.
So Nick, when people ask you to describe your job, I'm sure you have a little bit of an elevator pitch, but it's a job that has a lot of different components. What is your job at Fox Sports?
So, at Fox Sports, I work in social media. I oversee the NFL, MLB, and soccer social media teams there. I have an amazing team of people who are the best at what they do, but we take the Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages, and we make content for those. So whether that's the score, standing schedules, that type of thing, stats, or there's some fun memes, some videos, we do a lot of videos with talent, and then taking all of that, we have about 1,000 posts a week across the company on social, and then taking all of that and seeing what we can monetize and where we can grow business, and what talent we can elevate, and how we can really push the brand of Fox Sports and make some money and have some fun while we're doing it.
Making money and having fun, both, they don't have to be mutually exclusive. It's really nice if you can do both. I'm sure that you have a boatload of analytics in your job that really kind of drives. How does that drive? How does that help you make decisions?
We are very proud to be data-driven. So data drives really every decision that we make. We have a couple companies that we use. We use Spreadfast, we use CrowdTangle, but we are able to look at any type of post. So, like, for example, a final scores. How do final scores on NFL do? And if they do better than everything else, on average, if they're overperforming against other things that we do, we'll do more of them. If they're underperforming, we don't need to do that. Because remember, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, especially Facebook and Instagram, are algorithm games. So if you're having more high-performing posts, you're going to appear in more people's feeds. You're going to grow. If you have a lot of underperformers, Instagram isn't going to want to show you to new users, so they hide you a little bit. So every the stakes are high on every single post is trying to make it the best it possibly can. So we do that, and then obviously we're in sports, we're very competitive, so I like to have our little list of competitors for the week, the month, the year, and like, are we beating them? Are we outgrowing them? Are we out-engaging them? Do we have more video views? So.
I'm sure you'll appreciate then the analogy with Wayne Gretzky, who was one of the greatest hockey players of all time.
Heard of him.
And one of the reasons that he was able to not only pass, he didn't pass the puck where the player was, he passed the puck where the player needed to be. Where is this going? Where do you need to be as you look at,
Sure.
Because this technology changes, it seems like, on a weekly basis.
Yes. If I knew for sure, I'd be making a lot more money than I am now. It's interesting. Social, the whole industry is less than a decade old as far as like professional, right? It kind of started with Twitter, and then from there it's just exploded. It changes so much. Vine lived and died in 2 years, and it was a major platform that people made strategy around. So where it's going, I think it's going towards content, it's going towards personality, it's going to what can you provide that other people can't, similar to any other business. But I think the biggest thing is like being able to be flexible, being able to be creative, to push yourself, and to recognize that change as soon as possible and be able to change your strategy around it. Because you can't be married to one strategy in social. Like one of these platforms will tell you we are really emphasizing this right now, and you'll build your strategy around it for a year, and then maybe in 2 years that changes very quickly, and you suddenly have a team that you've built that is around this one strategy. So it's very important to hire people who are creative, who are diverse, and who are able to have a large skill set where they can change on the fly if needed.
One of the great things about social media is you get immediate feedback from
Yes.
your. One of the bad things about social media is you get immediate feedback. How do you deal with the trolls of the world and the negativity that's out there?
Sure. At first, we tell our younger producers not to read the comments, but the comments are very helpful. People will, if there's an error, they'll tell you right away. But it's an interesting dynamic, and maybe you can relate to this. Is that for us, if we have a bad post, like every single day, it seems like someone tells me that I should be fired. And I don't think most people in America can relate to that. Every single day, they're like, fire the intern that posted this. And you have to be able to let that roll off your back. And social is so personal where it's, we're trying to figure out these creative ideas, and you spend like hours on something sometimes, maybe even weeks on a video or an idea, and sometimes it doesn't hit, and sometimes that's a very personal experience. So you have to be okay with failure. You have to be okay with the highs and the lows. I try to be more of an optimist, so every day I try to walk in to the office and be the same person, because there are some very high highs and there are some very low lows. So those people who are able to just be on the 75th percentile of like good day every day often do well.
Lastly, Nick, I get a lot of questions about people interested in getting into the sports world, and I say, well, if you like a high pay and a few hours, this is not the place to be. You have to love what you do here.
You have to love what you do. I think that's important in any realm of business. Sports, if you're, like you said, if you're looking for 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, enjoying your nights and weekends, this is not really the place for you in most respects. It's, when I got my ESPN internship the first day, there were 72 of us, and they told us 22,000 people applied for these roles. And there's so many people who want to be in sports, so it's up to you to prove, like, can you beat them, or like, why you? It's competitive, but it's because there's so many people that want to get into it. There's no and it's such a small industry. There's no like clear like you do this, and then you're in sports. It's hearing your story, hearing everyone I've worked with story. Everything is different, and everyone has a different story. There's no cookie cutter thing to do like in other areas of business. So it's really ultimately about your relationships that you make, and going the extra mile, and being able to, reach out to people that you see on Twitter and say like, hey, can we talk on the phone? Or hey, like, how'd you get here? Hey, here's what I do. Here's what I can bring. Here's my art. Here's my video. What do you think? I love when I meet with some younger producers that are looking to get in the industry, and they'll send me feedback on stuff that we post, like, hey, why did you do this? Or, hey, I thought this was great, this is really cool. Or, hey, if I had this idea, what if you do that? So there's no one right way, but I am a firm believer if you work really hard and if you outwork everyone, if you teach yourself new things, if you're constantly pushing, something's going to work out for you. You can make a career for yourself in this field.
Nick, congratulations on a meteoric career. We look forward to not only seeing how you can grow that Fox Sports brand, but also the Nick Rago brand as well. So
Thank you.
Thanks for coming back and talking to the students today. For Nick Rago, I'm Tim Newton.